Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome to another episode, and today we are going to discuss about the roadmap of web development in 2026. I had a video on the same topic, but it was long time ago, and now I want to record the same video once again with updated information. And it is no doubt that the demand of software and web development skill is still a relevant skill, although many people think that AI can design and develop a complete website, but it is not completely true based on my experience, because I believe that the AI models are helpful to speed up the coding process, but it is not absolutely removing the importance of web developer in this industry. So the hiring of excellent web developer are still relevant, and it is available all over the internet if you think it from global perspective or based on the data of the various job websites. And it is very clear that hiring of an excellent web developer is a tedious process, because you will find many beginner level junior developer but who is able to do some advanced level web development that is helpful for running a real business that involve plenty of information and communication between the customers and the admin. So basically, in 2026, modern web development need understanding of HTML, JavaScript and CSS, and also good command over some JavaScript frameworks like Next.js, React. And also, when you are scaling your web application in cloud environment, you also need understanding about the cloud-based development skills. If you are familiar with the AI assisted coding tools, that is the most important advantage of hiring you as a junior web developer or a web master, etc. So here in this session, we are going to look at a comprehensive roadmap of 2026. If you are serious about web development and still you believe that there is scope in this technology, and don't diverted by some rumors that AI is going to replace web developer, front-end, back-end developer, that is completely just a rumor. So what is exactly web development? So it is a process of building and creating some web application. Nowadays most of the websites are not just web pages, they are web application that involve some functions. So you are end-to-end managing those websites, and basically it is not just creating some static pages, because it involves some complex coding, calculation, connection with their database, also user authentication, like user want to log into your website, share some information, you want to store them securely, and everything is in real time. So what is the role of a web developer in this scenario? You can become a front-end developer, where your main duty is to build user interfaces that is accessible through browser. So you are basically dealing with JavaScript based frameworks like React, TypeScript, Tailwind, CSS. You also need information about web accessibility and advanced level tools like GraphQL, etc. When you are dealing with the backend development technologies, you are basically building the logic behind the front end, and also connecting the front end to the database, building some API. So the tools you need or the programming knowledge you need is Node.js, Python, Express.js, or PHP, also a very good open source programming language. So in my channel there are tutorials available about PHP, and I want to focus on the modern programming language in this particular session. So full stack development is a combination of both front end and back end, and nowadays most of the web applications are using AI based tools. So as a backend developer, looking at these tools like how to integrate LLM to your web application, then dealing with the vector database so that your web application can store the AI LLM based communication in a database, and dealing with other LLM ops. These are significant, but these are really advanced level coding skill. When you are starting as a beginner, that is overwhelming. So if we look at the career opportunity in this, then in global scale, a junior level web developer started his salary from $80,000 per year, and if it is a job role located in some city in India like Bangalore, Hyderabad and Pune, then it is around 5 to 10 lakhs on an average, and the senior developer has opportunity to scale his salary up to 18 lakhs and more. So here the premium skills are how you are good at JavaScript programming language like TypeScript, Next.js, etc. Because JavaScript is taking over the most of the web application. It runs both on mobile and web browser. Also, you need premium skills in integrating AI, and these are some skills that hiring manager look at in a new resume. So we actually already break up the front end and back end and full stack. So if you make your roadmap like this, I have a 6 months plan to learn everything about front end, another 6 months spending on back end technologies, and within a year you can become a full stack developer in modern web technologies. So dear friend, let us assume that you are starting your first initial skill by learning HTML and semantic tag. So really it is overwhelming to remember everything at a time, but when you are creating your first web page from scratch, taking help from AI model, and you can see just writing a few lines, and within a second AI can create a web page. But the problem is that when you want to modify this page just by typing the new prompt, it is sometimes very fast, but it is not exactly giving the outcome that you are looking for. So in that case, human intervention is very important. So when a developer has proper confidence on HTML, CSS and JavaScript, sometimes he is capable to modify them, and then they can add more additional feature. Now of course it is very important, one of the JavaScript framework, either React or Vue, can play a significant role when it is a matter of adding real advanced level feature in a web page. So you can start learning the basic skills from the beginning, like creating a web page, making it responsive, looking at adding new feature day by day. And the initial step will be like understanding various type of tag involved in HTML. So you can get a full video on HTML in this channel. So if you just go through this video, you can learn the basics very quickly. Also, it is important as a HTML developer you understand the SEO fundamentals of HTML page. So SEO fundamentals means you are understanding what is meta tag, what is open graph, how you need to structure your page. Accessibility is a very significant part when you are creating a web page, looking at the IRIA level, then semantic markup, how to deal with the navigation, doing some segmentation to the page. And if it is an article, there must be a header section, footer section, and the main area of the page. And CSS, no doubt, to learn CSS, if you spend 2-3 hours every day, I think within a week you can understand CSS. It is not so difficult. Understanding the flexbox, CSS grid, how to use CSS variable. So basically the box model is a concept that involves the margin, the border. So when you are building a page, it doesn't matter whether it is a very professional page. Your first web page is not necessary to be a professional page, but most importantly, it needs to be technically correct. You know how to use the CSS grid and how to add some class and add some property to that class, so that a particular div or a section of the page behave according to your specific requirement. And when it is matter of JavaScript, it takes a little bit longer time, because JavaScript is a programming language, whereas HTML, CSS, these are not programming language. These are some markup technique to build a kind of page like HTML page, whereas JavaScript is a robust language. Here you are dealing with everything that programmers need, like variable, and then data type, operators. You also need to understand how to write a function, and when you are writing a function, passing some parameters, and when you are passing parameter, your function gives some output, how to utilize this output. And the JavaScript, especially ES6, has some features. These features include how to use let, constant, then what is the meaning of destruction, what is the meaning of template, literal, etc. So these things are explained in the JavaScript related video, and also the basic concepts of promises, using fetch API, closure function, then how to use the arrays. Especially arrays are very helpful. There are many ready to use functions available in array that help you in doing filter, use, etc. Using various type of loop like for each loop and data. So JavaScript is like total programming language, you can say nowadays. Although it was known as a toy programming language, work on browser, but when you start learning JavaScript programming, you are really dealing with the programming skill set. So once you have confidence over these three basic skills, now it is time to improve your skill further that industry required. So you are going to choose one of the stack, because there are many stacks available in web development. You can't be an expert of all these stacks at a time, although all the programming language use some fundamental basic rules, but very importantly, it is necessary to be focused on some of these stack areas. For example, the MERN, which stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node. So this particular stack helpful for building web-based application that also run in mobile, and it is a very high demand in India. Especially startups use these tools to build their application, because most of these tools are open source, and that's why it is a preferred option for startups at low budget. Whereas the Next.js and PostgreSQL, the database, and this is also known as the Next.js full stack, and its requirement is also growing all over the world. Especially it is helpful for building some SaaS product, and some production ready applications. Also, if it is like a gentle learning curve, you want to start your own web application for learning, and then once it is fully working, you want to show it as a portfolio and you want to develop something for your client, then start with Node, then Vue.js and SQL is a very good option. Python is no doubt the best programming language for AI based applications, where you can deal with any Python based frameworks like Django or Fast API, etc. But the problem is that these are so many tools all together, it is overwhelming. So if you focus on a particular web stack, that will be more helpful for you. So let's talk about the CSS frameworks that are most popular in the web development world. For example, there is a comparison between the Tailwind CSS and Bootstrap CSS. Bootstrap CSS is good if your website is like minimum number of website and web pages, you want to develop a CMS and informative pages. When it is like a web application, more advanced features are there, then Tailwind gives more flexibility to the developer because it has many utility first approach, works well in mobile and browsers, web browsers especially, and there is no specificity conflict. So it is an excellent CSS framework for Next.js based application. When you want to know more about the JavaScript based ecosystem, either you can choose React or Next.js, and both are very powerful in terms of building a complete web application. So let us assume that you are going to select one of the stack and starting your first projects. So language choice is very important. If you choose Python, then there is no need to spend your valuable time in learning Node.js and try to do everything with Python based application and make your resume I'm a Python developer. On the other side, API is something that is used by all modern web applications. So understanding APIs, the REST fundamental, how API deals with different type of method like get, post and delete. So how to send a request or how to receive some request and response from the API, this knowledge is very important. GraphQL is an emerging technology that help in custom queries language, and also it is an industry standard dealing with Postman, because most of the API, you want to integrate a shipping API to your e-commerce website, then you don't need to write whole code. Instead of you can check the connection using Postman by passing the credential to Postman and then see how the response is coming. So database is the most powerful skill for a developer, how to build a database, building relationship with different kind of tables, and nowadays you can take help from AI. When you have a database structure, you can get refactor of the database from AI, but when you are capable to write your own or especially create your own database with a specific goal, then AI is just going to improve it, and that is definitely helpful. There is two type of database available. One is SQL and another is NoSQL. So basically SQLs are relational databases system and NoSQLs are document based database system. So here, for example, MongoDB is a NoSQL database. So here you can upload more and more data as document. So this is just a simplified explanation of how to deal with database, and it definitely takes at least 4-5 weeks rigorous experiment with the query and etc. So here is this one stack of technologies, like you are creating your front end using React, then using express.js as a server-side scripting, that is receiving request and doing some authentication of user, etc. And there is a server environment that is running on Node.js, and also a database layer that connected to MongoDB. So this whole technology is capable to write a full-fledged custom web application for specific requirement. You can build e-commerce, you can build a social media application, any kind of website or a learning management system, etc. So what is the roadmap right now? You are beginning your journey at the very first week learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Then in the next 2 weeks you are going to deal with different kind of advanced level framework of JavaScript and CSS. Then in the next level, when you are building your own full stack CMS using these tools what you have learned so far, then you can build a e-commerce website that is capable to check out and manage the inventory. Then when you are confident about all those two application, you can move to build something advanced like a SaaS dashboard. And when you step by step build something like top of one experience, you get more confidence on how to present yourself as a full stack developer. So there are some development landscapes, like how good you are dealing with the CI/CD, continuous development, etc. How you manage your code using GitHub. Then there are some tools available like that can easily create the front end. So if you only focus on developing the backend, in that case the front end development tasks can be outsourced to some tools like b0.app, and by typing some requirement you can get a very nice front end. Next is the testing part. Without testing, your web application is not ready for the production. So you need to know how to manually test your application according to the scope of work. And nowadays you can get help from various type of AI tools that can make the testing process very fast. I have a whole video on software testing, you can check out this. So there are some security performance level important for any application. Nowadays AI is capable to do the testing, which is known as the pen test, and loading testing. When your application is getting a huge number of user, how it is going to be testing, like looking at the UI behavior. Is it user friendly or you need more improvement? In that case, these are some significant areas of testing. So you can spend like another week to learn how to do testing. So here is the roadmap that we got right now about learning web development in 2026. You can't ignore the power of AI ecosystem. So ecosystem, when you deal with some AI ecosystem, the most common AI integrations are using LLM model for some code review or some content response. It can work as a chatbot when people are asking some question, and it can answer the question based on the information of the website or web application. So you can generate the UI using v0.dev and builder.ai, etc. And when it is matter of auto getting help about code, you can use cursor, anti-gravity, etc. So AI is not replacing you, but it is accelerating your development process. When you start something from as a boilerplate and taking help from AI, and at every feature you are adding your own idea. Looking at the code, these are definitely improving your coding skill, and you can think like an architect, you can work like a senior test developer or a system designer. At every stage of your development is going to help you. So here is the 12-month full stack developer journey. You start at the very first month, getting understanding of the fundamentals. Fundamentals include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and TypeScript. Then go to the next phase at the third or fourth month, when you are learning a backend logic like Node.js, Express.js, and MongoDB. And at the sixth month, when you are confident about using the previous tools, you are capable to add more technologies in your skill set by assisted coding. You can experiment with that and deploy this on a real server, and as a student you get free account access from Azure and Google Cloud, so that you can do more and more experiment with this. And when you are going to market ready, when you have your own example application, it is working like a SaaS, completely solving a real life problem, and a CMS, a e-commerce platform, these are example website that you can build as a portfolio. And once you get confidence over all this application, in 8 to 9 months you can start applying for jobs. So this is the roadmap of 2026 as a web developer. Hope you like it, and see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care.